All right, everyone, this is Josh from 580 Barbell. I'm here with Frawley today. We're going to go over just some three tips that we see on log. This is more of a beginner video between clients, people just coming into the gym, at competitions with maybe more novices. Just three quick things we think you can do to really fix your log press. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the clean. So when Frawley goes ahead and picks this up, one of the biggest things, and Dante, come over to the side. We call this the spider positions. People have different names for it. What Frawley's doing right here, if you see his elbows, they're so far behind his wrist. So when he goes ahead and cleans, he has nowhere to go because his elbows are already back here, right? More irritation on the biceps, worse range of motion. So now when he picks it up, you're in that spider position now where your wrist, and this is just a cookie cutter. It may be a little bit different for everyone, but this is just a good guide. Elbows, pretty much just slightly, but maybe a little bit behind the wrist stacked. So now when Frawley's, he's having a good point of contact right here. He's in that position. All he does is roll it up, and it's setting him up for position in the rack position. So go ahead and set it down, Frawley, just to give yourself a little bit of air. So Frawley goes ahead. We're gonna show a clean with the right position. So the clean is the first one. Elbows in a good position and hugging it tight, like Frawley's doing right here. Nice hug tight. So the second thing we see is the rack position. Okay, so again, we're going to show a proper rack where you're nice and stacked. Frawley's a bigger guy, so he has a nice, strong rack position here, a good shelf. Smaller people, lightweights, may not have as big of a rack, so you may have to lean back a little bit more. But the key thing to remember here is a nice, stacked, elbows forward position. It's going to change a little bit depending on what style press you do, push press, strict press, push jerk, split jerk. But right here, Frawley's got a really, really good rack position. So go ahead and press one, Frawley. It's going to be in a nice straight line. Like that, because the log, is such a cumbersome item. Bring it back down. So show a bad rack position now. This is such a cumbersome item, but in comparison to a barbell, right? So this is a 12-inch log. Some people use, women class use 10. So what happens here, if Frawley lets this go forward because it's so big, what's going to happen is when he goes to dip, everything's going forward. He has nowhere to really go. He's all out of line. So elbows nice and stacked. Create that nice big shelf for yourself and set yourself up for a good press. So we went over the clean. We went over the rack position. The last thing we're going to go over is the dip. So we're just going to show you a proper one from the bottom now. Frawley's in a really good clean position. Rolls it up. His elbows are in a great position for him personally. And now because the log is such a cumbersome item, like I mentioned on the clean and the rack position, some people dip and then their elbows go forward. So show it, Frawley. So see what happens. We're going to make sure Frawley doesn't pass out here, but when he dips, a lot of people, their elbows go. So see that? Now he's in an absolute screw position. So clean it again and then show it with a crappy press with that dip when your elbows go. So Frawley dips. Did you do crappy elbow there? Yeah. So you can see here, gets in front of him. Show it one more time, crappy. So crappy. Elbows are forward. Log, you guys see how the log comes forward? Now show it one time with a good one. He dips, comes out like he's going to jump, and a nice straight line right through. So the clean, the rack position, and then the dip. Use those tips. Let us know what you think.